I saw a disciplined football team. I saw a team that went out on the field, did not, we had 2 penalties, and saw a team not turn the ball over. We did have the 1 fumble, but we did a really good job of getting that one back. Defense did a good job of getting 2 takeaways. So I saw a disciplined football team. I do see tons of room to grow. We learned a lot about ourselves. I think each kid learned a lot about themselves out there in the environment. I know we played over 20-plus guys. That was their very first college football snap. So we learned a lot about ourselves. This will be a good test this week to see where we stack up.
And what's got to change? There's got to be something, is it across the board, or is there something that you're like, all right, we got to get better in this?
Yeah, I think we still, like on offense, I think we got to continue to work toward gelling as an offense. There were times, especially in the second half, I felt like that things started to roll a little bit. There was that long drive in the third quarter that South Carolina State had that kind of took away a little bit of the momentum. But once the offense got back on the field, they were picking up yards and scoring points. So I started to see some gelling starting to happen in the second half with them. But I think we're still a work in progress there. Defensively, I'm not sure. Obviously, I think they played very well, but I'm not sure. It'd be really interesting this week to see, against this UMass team.
Coach, you talk about the UMass team, and obviously they're a little bit different offense. They put it up in the air a lot. How much of a challenge is that to come off the high of, playing a good game, getting a win to start the season, and then having to play against a squad that's a lot different the very next week?
It's always a challenge from week to week because you go play different teams, and it may not be that they have a different identity. It's just there's different players. And UMass is a good football team, well coached. On offense, they do a really good job of personnelling and trying to get in matchups with their good players. And on defense, they really play hard, a lot of effort, really aggressive. So this will be a really good test for us this week, and see how we improve from week 1 to week 2.
And with you guys still installing things on both sides of the ball, and you talk about the team wanting to gel or working on gelling, do you think it helps to have an opponent that they're familiar with from last year, or do you worry about getting emotional because of trying to get back from last year?
I don't think our team has that issue right now of being emotional from anything from last year. I think they're very locked into their daily process, and also getting to this game and knowing this is the next game and it's the most important game to us. I don't see them getting emotional about that. I do think the whole season's about them proving themselves. This football team wants to prove themselves. So I think the whole season's about that, and that obviously it's now with UMass.
Offensively, Coach, you've had a chance to look back at it. What do you assess? How do you assess them, and what are you trying to do differently to improve there?
You'll start to see more of the playbook come out this week with our offense. We went into the last game simple on purpose. 3 new starters on the offensive line, and then I'd have to go back and look at it. But when we talk about 20-plus players playing their first snap of college football, I thought it was really important to go in this game and guys not be too concerned about knowing the whole playbook. And I think it's important that we grow each week. And so offensively, you'll see that continue to grow. We got to get the inside run game established, but now it's a lot about what South Carolina State was doing. It became a perimeter game. And I thought the coaches and I did think that our players did a good job adjusting to that and seeing what was working, what was going to work for us, and taking advantage of that.
Are those adjustments that you guys are making at halftime or throughout the game?
Throughout the series. I mean, we're looking at how the linebackers play, how the safeties are rotating, how the corners are playing, and how their D-line is either, playing their gaps or slanting or whatever they're doing. We're looking at that, and then our play calls are kind of based off of that. But anytime that we're trying to run the option, we got to understand that if they're taking away the dive, then the quarterback in the pitch game's got to get going. If they're trying to take away the pitch, then the quarterback's got to get going, and that's what happened last week.
With the new freshman redshirt rule, are you more inclined to play some of those guys when you can to get a look at them because there's more of an opportunity with 4 games?
Definitely. We played a good many. I don't have the number off the top of my head right now, but we played a good many in the last game, and we'll continue to play them as long as they show that they can play in college football games. And I think it's very valuable because they get the experience, they kind of get the butterflies out, and then they understand that the speed's different. One guy, Marcus Rogers, is a guy at receiver who played, I think, 22 snaps. After the game, talking to him, he was like, "Man, speed of the game's different than high school," and so I think a lot of that got out of them once they started to play. So I think we'll continue to play them, and then after 4 games, if we don't want to, mess up their redshirt year, then we'll obviously redshirt them and go on.